Were my prayers answered? Is this movie good? Well, let's see. We have a slow-paced piece about the most white-bread superhero in the world. About 1/4 of the movie is spent on setup for the next one with a Lex Luthor plot cul-de-sac, and it features a reappearance of the single worst villain in the DC multiverse. So yeah, this movie was pretty good. The New 52 universe is well established at this point. We have heroes, we have crime, we have the Justice League. Meanwhile, Superman has his hands full with League work, protecting Metropolis, and now dealing with a relationship with Lois Lane in his Clark Kent persona. While Barry Allen is getting married and Bruce is going to a parent-teacher conference, Clark is still having trouble explaining his secret identity to her. She meets Ma and Pa Kent, but he does everything he can to shut down the stories of his past. It gets to the point that Lois is questioning the validity of their relationship. In the end, however, he decides to come clean. He reveals his secret identity to Lois Lane and confesses his love for her. Unfortunately, it came at the worst possible time. A mysterious alien known as Doomsday has appeared. While the Justice League was sent in to stop him, they were all categorically defeated. One by one they fall, and nothing they throw at the beast seems to do anything at all. Even Wonder Woman is powerless. In the end, Earth's last line of defense is Superman, and he fights with everything he has. Unfortunately, after a long battle, even he's defeated. Lois Lane tags in. Seeing Lois in danger is just what Clark needed to squeeze one last ounce of strength out of his broken body, and with a final blow, Doomsday is defeated, but at the ultimate cost. Together, the world mourns for the loss of the Man of Steel, while in the shadows, several forces are at play, and in the end, it appears that Superman lives, after all. So I listed off several negatives of the movie right at the beginning, and I want to get to those before I talk about the good stuff. However, before that, I want to say this. The Death of Superman is a much better movie than Superman Doomsday. That film, the first in the DC animated original movie catalog, adapted both this story and the next to some degree. It heavily suffered from truncating every story beat so much, but if there was one thing that movie did right, it was the actual battle between Superman and Doomsday. It was just everything else that suffered. So before we do anything else, we need to know, how do the fights compare? Well, they're about on par. Yes, this Superman versus Doomsday fight is really good. Good animation, good direction, we talked about it before, moving on. I only have two issues with this battle. First, it goes on for a few minutes too long, where Superman looks like he's beaten, or Doomsday is temporarily subdued to allow a breather. If they cut out just one of those instances, I think it would have been fine. Then we have the final blow. It was severely underwhelming for me. The impetus, the build-up, the animation and direction, that was all fantastic, but I mean, come on, are we really comparing there? But everything else was great. About the fight anyway. The rest of the movie is okay, I guess. To go over the bad first, I'm not the biggest Superman fan as is, so having an entire movie center around him wasn't the most appealing thing in the world. While the drama and character is done well despite that, I still have that lingering sense of satisfaction of, this is a Superman story. Now I know that's not fair to the movie, and I promise that it doesn't hold much bearing on my impressions. Like I said, the movie was done very well for what it is. Second, Lex Luthor is not only terrible in the movie, but is useless to the plot. Every single scene he's in, which totals to about 15 to 20 minutes, is set up for the next movie, Reign of the Supermen. He doesn't do anything in the Doomsday storyline, and he isn't even like a villain. He just kinda hangs out on the sidelines and tries to clone Superman, I guess? It's never really explained in plain English, so if I didn't know who Superboy was, I would have even less reason to care about whatever is happening when Luthor is on screen. Third, Doomsday. He's always terrible, he's always been terrible, and he always will be terrible. He is a rock monster from space that crash lands on Earth for no reason at an arbitrary time for the sole purpose of being a physical match for Superman. Let alone that Superman himself has stated that Martian Manhunter is stronger than him, at least post-crisis. Whenever Doomsday comes up, every other superhero has to take an artificial -6 to their strength, speed, and intelligence so Superman can appear special, and for what? If this was like Superman's villain, like a complete match and one who has history with the Man of Steel and has a personal connection to the Kryptonians, hint hint Brainiac, then I could justify it for the sake of dramatic effect. But for a rock monster? No. I refuse. The Flash has the infinite mass punch and can run from Central City to presumably Metropolis, or wherever the hell the Hall of Justice is, in quote, 2 seconds at most. Wonder Woman and Martian Manhunter are consistently stated to be at least comparable to Superman in terms of strength, and Wonder Woman is literally a god of war in some incarnations. Green Lantern's constructs should be theoretically unbreakable so long as he has the will to maintain them, especially if there's more than one Lantern fighting. There is absolutely zero reason for Doomsday to ever be able to defeat the entire Justice League and then fall to Superman alone. It doesn't matter which way you look at it, that's stupid as fuck. And for Doomsday 2, like, really? But other than all of that, the movie is good, and I know how that sounds, but I promise that the overall impression is of a good time. Though admittedly, I don't really have that much to say on the good stuff because it's all things that I've talked about before. Guys, it's movie number 32. I can only say it was good in so many different ways. Anyway, the drama between Clark and Lois feels relatable and is given the necessary time to make us care. While it's very disappointing that the conclusion of Superman and Wonder Woman's relationship isn't shown after them sharing every scene with each other in every one of their other appearances in this catalog, I do like the post-breakup banter that they have, and I'm glad that they're mature enough to not have to have that annoying and tired post-breakup melodrama. You know, where they're awkward with each other and have to learn to work together again. Thankfully, they've both moved on by now, and they're able to joke around a bit with each other. It's also realistic in that Wonder Woman obviously wouldn't want to hear about Clark's current relationship woes, so when it comes up, she immediately gets up and walks away to go to Barry Allen. It's not pointed out, it's just something natural that happens. In general, the chemistry between all of the characters is pretty good. This is the first movie that the Justice League feels like more than just an alliance of convenience. They have weekly meetings discussing the state of affairs and even their budget, and they joke about it.
Facilities are above what the UN cleared for funding, guys.
I'll handle it. Move on, Cyborg.
Wonder Woman merchandise did very well this year. I can step up when the Wayne Foundation falls short.
You're kidding, right?
They're comfortable enough with each other to talk about Flash's wedding and drink with him in celebration.
Milk for you. Congratulations. Where are you going? Fiji? Bora Bora? SeaWorld?
Okay, Flash, there are times when speed is not good.
Clark is secure enough in his status as the leader and his standing among the other Leaguers to show a vulnerable side and ask Barry about whether to tell Lois his secret identity.
I mean, does she know about you?
Are you kidding? I told her ages ago.
Oh, geez, Soups, you can't drop a bomb like that on the honeymoon.
Aren't you worried?
About what?
About bringing her into your world. The dangers, the sacrifice.
Clark, that's what marriage is all about.
There's genuine concern for each other's well-being in the fight against Doomsday, and they all work hard, and sometimes get pounded hard, for trying to protect each other. While the animation is fairly standard for most of the film, the final 15 minutes or so are absolutely gorgeous, despite being directed by Sam Liu. I'm pretty sure that some of the work was outsourced. Okay, but come on, Liu hasn't exactly had a good track record with this catalog, okay? And yeah, that final 15 minutes is some of the best the catalog has to offer. If one thing can be said about the death of Superman, it's that it puts the utmost reverence and respect into the character for the first time since Justice League Doom. That was 19 movies ago. Despite its myriad issues, the core story of making us care about and root for Superman resonates, and that's all this movie had to do to be good. It's slower than most, but it spends its time well when focusing on the Man of Steel. It has a larger cast than most, but they're all glorified cameos, so it keeps the focus on what's important. Above all, this is maybe the first time this catalog has made me feel something, in a way that no other movie in this catalog has before. It made me care about the death of Superman, plain and simple. But past that, as good as this movie was, it put a dread into me, because I know where this is all leading to, but that's still over a month away. For now, stay tuned for the immediate sequel coming to you next week. Prepare for the reign of the Supermen.